finna give your ass the game, man. You know I break it down. Come on, man, you know it's Bain.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Bain Break It Down Forex. It's your boy Big Bain and his thing. And you guys guessed it, another week, another opportunity for us to make some money in the Forex market. So let's get right to it. All right, boom, over on the dollar, guys. So we found a floor, all right, from this daily time frame. That Friday we ended up not closing lower than Thursday, so this is a inside candle to that Thursday candle, but it is a heavy bearish candle and it is sitting at support. So as we look at the dollar on a lower time frame, we can see more structure and we can tell that the dollar has had, a pretty tough time breaking this support level. All right, it tried, here and here and here, but ultimately failed to continue falling each time. So we're in that same situation once again, where we pretty much got to wait. We got to wait it out to see if it will at least get below the weekly low. All right, if it does, then we can pretty much bank on the dollar continuing to fall. But if it doesn't, right, we can expect what has previously happened 1, 2, 3, 4 times before when price was in this particular area. All right, so definitely expecting some sort of rise up on the dollar that could ultimately take the liquidity here, and then reach into our supply zone before dropping. So that is a high possibility, right? But at the same token, all right, guys, we are in downtrend structure where we're clearly making lower highs and lower lows. All right, so we high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and so we can continue to go and make that lower low. So that's also a very possible scenario with the dollar. It's just that the time that it's probably going to take for that to happen will be a little bit. So all about just being patient and seeing how this goes. But for now, I'm mixed. I need to see some sort of price action on the dollar, either rejecting the support and starting to rise, or breaking below it and starting to fall. All right, so a little mixed on the dollar for now, but we are bearish as it stands at the moment. So with that, I think I'll side with the bearish side of things, but definitely being cautious of how the dollar moves around this support area. All right, so watch out for that. All right, moving over to JPY, and once again JPY has still been doing some very nasty price action here that makes it very hard to read and follow the market structure, right? So higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, etc., right? It's very hard to see that, but what we know is that JPY rose significantly, breaking this high, making this new high. So everything that's happening in between this high and this low is internal, and price ultimately wants to go up. So we have areas from where price can go up. All right, is one, this demand area that we see here. All right, it can tap into it, right, sweep the low, probably get into that break of structure that we had here, right? It'll fall down a little bit more and then begin to rise. But it's very hard to not think about price getting any deeper to where we see all of this imbalance to the downside, or even getting into this level of demand down here. So we could have some situation where the JPY completely drops all the way down into this area before potentially starting to make its way back up. So I'm very wary of that with the JPY, where I know it wants to rise, but I'm trying to see which area it's most likely going to rise from. All right, but since we had a nice push up here, we can definitely see that once again if we reached once we reach this demand level. So initially I'm definitely bearish on JPY, as I believe it is going to fall to one of these key points or these key areas, and then from there I'm definitely expecting a huge rise out of the JPY. And that's pretty much how I'm going to play it for this week. So watch out for the initial drop first, which is where you want to buy your pairs like GJ and so forth. But then once it's at those areas, look for your opportunities to sell pairs like GJ, as the JPY will be going up at that time. But for now, guys, JPY is bearish. All right, moving over to odd dollar. All right, very, we got a break of a high, new high, and so like again, we're just retracing slowly. So it looks like it wants to continue coming down, all right, to potentially this demand area. But that would mean that the dollar is going to rise typically, all right, in terms of correlation. So the dollar is at support where it can rise, so that kind of lines up with odd dollar looking bearish, all right, for now. So until we get like above these highs, until the price pushes above it, we'll be bullish once again, right? Probably going to take the weekly high, maybe continue rising higher, but we don't know at this moment. But from what we see right now, we have our low, we have our high, and so all of this is internal, and it's giving downtrend structure for this retracement, pullback, or correction to key points of interest. Again, here is a bit of a demand area, and here is another. So price can come all the way down to any one of these points of interest, and then try to reverse and go back up. All right, but for right now, dollar, I am bearish. All right, moving over to euro dollar, and let's look at it from a higher time frame. All right, yeah, so it has been rising as the dollar has been falling, all right, on Friday, but we're near the weekly and daily highs, so we can easily sweep those and then start to push on down, all right. But the price action just really isn't that clear, all right. So over here we were making lower lows, lower highs, then we kind of came here, and then we made still lower lows, then we made higher highs, then higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So from here to here, we've been bullish, all right. So we could, like I said, once again, just keep rising up, maybe take out the swing high before a potential drop. But it is looking like it is going to give us some sort of retracement first before giving another push up, because it's been pushed up already, all right. So I'm bearish on Euro USD, but I'm also just being mindful that it most likely will try to push up a little bit to get liquidity before it falls down, all right. But if we happen to break above this swing high, you can kiss the baby goodbye in terms of Euro USD wanting to continue to rise. At that point, you just want to wait for the retracement and then try to catch it on the way up. But for now, I think we're going to get a tiny push up and then a drop on Euro USD. All right, over to pound USD, same exact thing, right? We broke the high, made the new high. So all of this that we see is internal to that move, and it's just all over the place, right? So we came down to a point of interest, we rose, but we didn't break above the high. So it's staying bearish, even though you see price pushing up like this. It's having this very hard time getting above this imaginary line, all right. All bars intended, okay. But because of that, right, we may have a situation where pound begins to fall once again, and getting to any point of interest that is down in this area. So also got a little bit of a trend line, not too shabby, but an area of liquidity that price can navigate to, right, as it begins to fall, right. So yeah, this is also a little bit of a wedge, if you will, but not very nicely put together, but it's still in there. It's in the mix with the wedges, right? So pound dollar is looking bearish. I'll be looking to sell, but I think we're going to get a hunt up first, take out the weekly high, get the liquidity behind this trend line, and then fall. So watch out for that. I'm bearish on GU. Over to New Zealand dollar, again, same exact thing, right? We failed to make that higher high, and we just kept, we broke a low, we started, getting lower. Again, we can still push up and get up out of here, right? Because dollar can break support and start to fall, and New Zealand dollar will just keep rising. But for right now, I am seeing just a little bit of respect at this particular level with price action. So because of that, right, I want to see if it breaks above it, because at that point, you know, it'll confirm that it still wants to rise and I'll be bullish. But for now, we're having a little difficulty, so I'm going to be bearish on New Zealand dollar, expecting some sort of drop. All right, moving over to dollar CAD. So let's see from the daily. Okay, all right, dollar CAD sitting at this level of supply, right, that is rejecting at the moment from the daily. But we broke above Thursday's high on Friday. But again, we're sitting at just a little bit of a resistance level. Okay, so seeing that rejection here makes us, you know, feel like the dollar or dollar CAD is going to fall. All right, and it's also giving, you know, a bit of a evening star kind of chart, candlestick pattern right here. So you see the rejection each time, the drop, reject, drop, reject, drop. We're right back in there with rejection. So we may get a drop. It may not be a huge drop because again, the structure here is bullish. All right, so if we get the drop, we may just take out the low, right, tap into this demand area, right, and then begin to rise once again and finally break, you know, this level of resistance. Okay, that is a huge possibility. Okay, anything's possible, right? It's just you got to know how to read the market structure, because even though it can respect and rise, right, continuing this bullish structure that we see here, right, it can also break it, right, break that low, break this level, and then it can start to do like this, right? So you'll never really know until, you know, price shows what it wants to do. So for now, it looks bearish, all right, but I can also see it turning bullish on dollar CAD. So this is just, once again, like everything that we do in trading, is you know, it's a waiting period to see, hey, are you going to start to break below this low and continue falling, or will you, you know, potentially push above this high and become bullish? All right, time will tell. But right now, because it's below resistance, I'm going to say bearish, and that it's going to, you know, potentially give a little bit of a drop, right, before potentially rising again. All right, over to dollar CHF, and you know, this typically looks exactly how the dollar does, and you can see that we're at this level of support here. Okay, so you know, just like the dollar, we could potentially rise from this and start to go up, but it's also kind of, you know, looking like it's pushing pretty heavily into that zone, like it wants to break it. All right, so again, seeing you know, a few candles, whether or not they break below the support or stay above it is going to tell us what we need to know and how we need to go about trading dollar CHF. But for right now, it does look rather, I don't know, it's a toss-up. I can see it going both ways. So I can tell it's just going to be a situation of really waiting to see what it's going to be on dollar CHF, guys. So you know, just lay around for, you know, a few more candles to tell you, okay, we're going up or we're potentially going to fall. All right, but a very major support level last time here, all the way up. Right, so again, looking a little bullish, right, for dollar CHF. Dollar JPY, again, I told you guys with the JPY, I feel like it's going to fall, so I do feel like dollar JPY is going to rise. All right, but for now, you know, it is just not really clear, right, in terms of really looking at the price action. And if you go to like a lower time frame, you'll see, yeah, like in here it's all choppy, right? It looks like it's going up, it looks like it's going down, but in reality it's all within the same consolidated area, all right, of just going sideways and not really giving us any major down pushes like this, or major rises, right? So just very mixed with how it can go, but I am expecting some sort of rise on UJ. All right, moving over to pound odd, and I don't know, it is falling. This was a major drop here, breaking this low, and so we're retracing here. I do not know how far up it will retrace, but it's already giving wedgie vibes. All right, and that is indicating that we may very well get a nice push back down on pound odd. So for that reason, with this beautiful wedge that I'm drawing up now, I believe pound odd will fall, but watch out for the particular hunt, right, to some sort of supply area, right? Maybe even this fair value gap sitting up here, all right, before we get the drop on pound odd. All right, so on pound odd, I am bearish, just watching out for the sweep of the buy side liquidity to then go and get sell side. All right, bearish on pound odd. Pound cat, all right, we've reached a high point, right, to where last time we were here we dropped and we made a significant push up, so we can definitely see a retracement of some sort to this fair value gap, maybe this demand area, maybe taking out the daily low. But it's going to be interesting to see if it's going to give that retracement or if it's just going to continue rising. So you just got to be patient, right? Things have been going up, so we do want it to retrace so that it can get it to a lower price. Therefore, we can buy it low and try to catch it going back up. All right, getting a bigger view on pound cat. Yeah, and I mean, it's curved around, so it definitely looks like it wants to continue rising. But typically, like I said, it'll give you a retracement first before it rises. But I'm bullish on pound cat. All right, over to pound CHF, and I don't know. It is just, it's not really super readable. The main thing I can see is that we did break this high and we made this new high, right? So here is your low, right, to everything, and then we're having this demand area here, so price can tap into this demand and then start to rise again, getting above this high. So with that being said, I believe pound CHF will rise. Just wait for it to tap into this demand area, give you some bull candles, and then aim for this swing high here, and you'll be looking at somewhat 130 pips roughly. All right, so on pound CHF, I am bullish. All right, moving over to pound New Zealand, and pound New Zealand just kind of broke this low, but we're getting a lot of rejection and we got a nice imbalance here. So it looks like we're going to rise up on pound New Zealand, but from there we could possibly turn around and keep dropping. All right, so it's going to be very interesting, again, like everything, to see how this is going to play out, but definitely giving a little bit more bearish vibes. Just probably a retracement up first into the supply level before we get a drop all the way down to these equal lows. And if we get that, guys, we're looking at over 500 pips on pound New Zealand. I am bearish. All right, overall, again, I think it's going to rise a little bit, but then from there we're going to get that drop. All right, GJ. So again, just back to what I think about the JPY falling. I think GJ is going to push up and get into this area before it's ready to drop. All right, so initially I'm bullish on GJ, but once it gets up to supply, I'm loading up to take that sell on the way down, because we had to change from up to down. It's just we did a lot of playing around from giving us a clean retracement or pullback or correction, right? So it just consolidated instead of pushing up. But I believe we're going to get that push up now, and then from there we're going to get that major drop on GJ. But catching it to the upside, which is what you can do right out the gate, you can get yourself anywhere from 200 to 250 pips, and then coming back down from that supply area to this particular low, you're looking at 500 some odd pips. All right, guys, easy peasy lemon squeezy play setup on GJ if you know how to take advantage. All right, bullish, then bearish on GJ. All right, over to silver. All right, things getting interesting. All right, so from this higher time frame, we can see that all the way down here we had these lows. All right, I'll just map it out really quick. Right, we were respecting this zone. All right, this area, and we started to break higher or make higher lows. Right, so you see these lows down here. All right, on silver. Right, all of them skyrocketed. Right, just pushed up. So you guys seeing the movements from when price was at these, but now we're sitting right here. All right, price is sitting above this level. So what this is telling me, at least, is that price is having a very hard time getting below this zone, this whole little area right here. Right, and now we're starting to push up and up and up. We got a bit of a morning star candlestick pattern right here, right, and then price again just kept rising. So what I'm expecting, all right, let me clean this up a little bit. All right, but what I'm expecting on silver is, let's get to lower time frame. All right, is I am expecting a bit of a drop. All right, where it's probably going to the area that we broke here, maybe this fair value, maybe this demand area, but I'm expecting some sort of drop on silver to bounce from any one of these particular zones, right, and start to head back up. All right, but everything that we see here for points of interest, this area, this FEG, this demand, even this swing low down here, silver can reach before potentially rising. All right, so your best options would be to look for the sell on silver right out the gate. All right, but understanding that once it gets to these lower points of interest, all right, on your 2-hour time frame or 1 hour, then you're going to be definitely wanting to look for that buying opportunity, as from there we can start to get back into the all-time highs on silver up to 120, 125 possibly. And ladies and gentlemen, believe me when I tell you, a micro lot on silver with that kind of a move will get you a bag. So if you can afford to do a mini lot or even a standard, you will make more money than you've ever made in your life. All right, so watch out for that opportunity to buy on silver, but just know that right out the gate, I believe we're going to get a nice drop on silver. All right, bearish and then bullish on silver. All right, over to gold, same exact thing. Right, so you can see that we started to push up, especially here. Right, this is where we were last week, and I was trying to tell you guys, hey, we had a change, right, where this was a strong high, but we broke above it, and then price was going to get back to that low and take off. So everything that I told you last week did exactly what I told you it was going to do. So now that we've broken higher, right, so we've broken above these highs and even these over to the left, but because we've gone higher, we are expecting some sort of retracement where you can see we're already getting just a little bit of a lower high at this level where gold was playing around at. So right from here, guys, we'll get a nice drop into this fair value gap, maybe this fair value gap, or all the way down to this demand level. Right, so right out the gate, I'll be looking for a selling opportunity on gold. But once we get here, right, maybe even down to this area, because we do kind of have equal lows sitting here, so it may push all the way down to take that liquidity. But then from there, guys, I'm looking to buy gold. I just needed to break back up within that weekly range, and from there I'll expect gold to get all the way back up to that 600 price point. All right, right here, which was the all-time highs, and you can see it's developing, right, where it's starting to push higher. That drop is finished, right? The lows have found themselves a floor, right about there, right, and everything from there has been rising. So again, just a little bit of retracement down for people to take money, right? Take their profit and what have you. And again, potentially grab liquidity to fuel the move to the upside, where we will eventually get right back to 5,600. Don't know how soon or how long, but once price has dropped, that's going to be the next mission for it to rise to that level. So guys, please don't miss out on your gold and silver plays, because they will absolutely pay. All right, just got to be patient. Okay, moving on, bearish on gold initially, but then bullish. All right, moving over to natural gas, and again, natural gas should have been rose, but it's just playing around, and I don't like the way that it's moving. All right, so for me, I'm really not going to do anything with natural gas, but you can see we got just a little bit of an inverted head and shoulders right here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We just need to break above the neckline here, and then from there, you know, we should get our rise on natural gas. All right, so I'm bullish on natural gas. All right, over to oil, it is respecting a support level, and I believe that tensions are not over. All right, it's a lot of false peace talk in terms of, you know, what Iran and the United States and Israel is you know, trying to agree to. But in my opinion, I don't see it ending anytime soon. So I believe oil will still rise. I'm bullish on oil. All right, over to SPY. So SPY has just been ridiculously rising. All right, and if we look at it on a lower time frame, let's say the 1 hour, looking at that peak of where price is, it's starting to give way, right? It's starting to see cracks, right? Where we can see, right, we broke that high, we made that new high, but we got a bit of a trend line break, and then, you know, we have a nice fair value gap with the change, right? We shifted from up to down, right around this area. So now, you know, we're definitely looking at a potential drop on SPY. Now, it'll be good to sell it right now from the high. Where's my thingy? All right, here. It's good to sell it right now from the high, right? Because that's what we want. And you may be able to get away with a tight stop, but it'll, you know, it'll be nice to see it break these lows. That way it'll give you a little bit more confirmation that it really wants to drop. But either way, if you get in from here or here, you're still giving yourself a good opportunity to catch everything all the way to the daily low of Friday, I believe. All right, so with that being said, I'm bearish on SPY, especially with the dollar at a support area, looking like it can turn bullish. All right, that lines up the correlation with the dollar and SPY to where when the dollar rises, SPY drops. All right, so I'm very bearish on SPY. All right, over to NAS, and you know, kind of the same exact thing, right? NAS has been spazzing out to the upside, and it is still bullish, right? But it's starting to show a little, you know, weakness or give way from, you know, making these new all-time highs. So if we get price to kind of do one of these numbers and break below this low, then I believe that's when it's time to go ahead and sell, right? Either from the breakout or wait for the retracement and then sell it from here as it will begin to do its drop. All right, so for NAS, I'm looking for confirmation of a change before I sell it, but once that happens, I will be selling and looking to make about 700 points on NAS to the downside. I am bearish. All right, but if it respects here, maybe I'll get in for a buy. All right, that's the flip side, because again, it's still bullish, but ultimately the sell opportunity is way more enticing. All right, because we went up high and we'll be getting in from the high, which is what you want to do in any sell. All right, last but not least, US 30. So looking at it from a higher time frame, you can see once again US 30 is also, you know, going pretty high, but it hasn't quite tapped into the supply level yet. But you can see that it's kind of, you know, barely making higher highs, right? You know what I mean? It still is, but it's barely doing it. All right, so with this supply area not being tapped into, I expect US30 to do exactly that first, right? I expect it to rise up, tap into supply, potentially take out this swing high to the left, and then we'll start to see US30 give us way to the downside for a sell. All right, so initially I'm bullish on US30, even though we can just drop, right? I might miss, I might miss that drop because I'm expecting it to rise first. But nonetheless, if it does, all I got to do is wait until it, retraces, and then I can catch it from there to get in, with the fun to the downside. All right. But US30 initially bullish and then bearish after that, guys. All right. So that'll do it for the week, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right. Check me out, forexwithbain.com, if you really want to learn and earn. All right, and get with a community of like-minded individuals who are not, all about the nonsense. All right, we really help each other, and we really learn what we need to succeed. All right, yeah, just come get in the mix, and I promise you'll be happy. All right, in the meantime, in between time, y'all know what it is. It's your boy. Peace.
Wanna get money? Wanna get paid? That's Forex. Like a sensei, then you know you gotta come and swing my way. And if you wanna fast forward, hit replay.